Portions of the following program may have been pre-recorded.
The following program's views, claims, or ideas may not reflect those of WSRR Radio or StylesRebelRadio.com.
And now, we take you behind enemy lines with Lucas DeRazio and Dom Ferro on WSRR Radio.
All Browns fans will go to heaven where football season's never ending. The leaves have changed, smell it in the air. Where every morning is a Sunday morning, the grill is firing and the drinks are pouring. All Browns fans will go to heaven and our Modell can go to hell.
Welcome back to another exciting, riveting, absolutely awe-inspiring episode of Behind Enemy Lines right here on WSRR Radio. Thank you guys for joining us this morning, March 27th, Friday morning at 10 a.m. right here on your nationally local station, WSRR Radio. I'm Lucas DeRazio, joined as always by Dom Ferro. We are recording on Thursday, March 26th, 10:48 p.m. Dom, it's a late one this beautiful rainy Thursday night in Pittsburgh. Absolutely pissing outside. Dom's joining us directly after a Pens shootout. Victory, loss? How'd they fare tonight? Victory.
Huge, massive win with major playoff implications. Big win for the Pens tonight. Over the Ottawa Senators. So this pushes the Penguins. If they lost this game, like playoffs, they would have been sitting just out of it. But right now, they're right in the mix. They're in a playoff spot with only 9 games to go on the season. There's a little bit of the NHL update, but I just want to mention the Columbus Blue Jackets real quick. They were one of the worst teams in the NHL back in January. They fired their head coach, and since then, they've been the hottest team in the NHL. And they're looking, I think it would be like the biggest like turnaround in NHL history to go from, I forget exactly what their record was, but now they're like one of the top teams in the NHL and a team to look out for in the playoffs. So there's a little Ohio, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, there we go.
Hockey watch.
The BJs, they got it rolling a little bit now. I believe they're 5th something in the Eastern Conference right now. So somewhere around there.
But I think like hockey like playoffs are kind of weird because I think like they might not look good in the East, but as far as the Metro, I think they're right.
They're in like
right
the
where they need to be.
Spot in the Metro, something like that. We got some interesting stuff coming together in the NHL playoffs, which really is a really underrated playoffs. There's nothing really like the Stanley Cup playoffs. I think that if there's ever a time to get into hockey, it's just starting to watch the playoffs, and that really will kind of boost you. It's kind of the NHL playoffs are a lot like March Madness, where it's like if you don't watch a single college basketball game all year, you can watch March Madness and enjoy it. Same thing, in my opinion, with the Stanley Cup playoff. So we do have that to look forward to, and I think that it's been a few years, but I think that this is going to be the year that I get back into the NHL playoffs. We talked about it on this show that hockey's hot right now, hot and sexy in a way that, heated rivalry did a lot for it. The Olympics did a lot for it. It's time to watch hockey again in America and in the DeRazio household. So especially if the Blue Jackets are in it. The last time that I watched a Stanley Cup playoffs like religiously was when the Blue Jackets were in it. I think it was like 2020, 2021. So I'm excited to get back into it, especially if, like you said, the Blue Jackets are one of the hottest teams in the league right now. I have the like ESPN notifications on my phone just to like give me the score every time they play. And it's definitely been exciting to see. I'm not watching a ton of games. Like if they're on, if I can find them, I'll watch them on like ESPN Plus or something. But it's exciting to get the notification and be like, all right, they got another win tonight, So I think tonight's or this year is the year to do it. But like I said, just like the March Madness bracket. If you haven't watched another college basketball game all year, you can pretend you're an expert and tune in, and that's what we've done. Some good games happened tonight, March 26th. One's going on right now, actually two of them. Arizona beating Arkansas right now with a minute and a half left in the first, and Illinois up 2 on Houston at halftime. Couple of good games there. And then Nebraska just fell to Iowa, the 9 seed. They're making a nice little run. There are the Hawkeyes. And Purdue beating Texas by 2, a 2 seed over an 11 seed. I've been watching some Purdue basketball. I watched them against Miami. I like this Boilermakers team a lot, Dom. They're fun to watch. Have you caught any Purdue?
I haven't actually seen any Purdue in this tournament yet, but like just knowing Purdue, they always just have like some massive dudes, like the biggest guys you've ever seen in your life. So that's what I'd expect from this team. And yeah, that's always a fun brand of basketball.
Yeah, and I think that if you watch Purdue, the story of their team is that they have 3 guys. One of them is like a post player. He's not huge, but like you can tell he's a traditional post player. He's not going to be like a stretch 4 as much. He's the guy who's down there banging with the bigs, and using his body, getting rebounds, getting points in the paint. And they have 3 seniors who are 4-year starters for the Boilermakers, and you don't see that a lot, especially now with NIL and the transfer portal. But you got to really admire that about Purdue. And one of them is an absolute lights out shooter. They kind of all have like their roles too. That's like it's almost like the cast of a movie where one of them is just a lights out shooter. He started like 8 for 8 last game against Miami, and he had 20 some points. They have the post guy who's just a grinder in there and does what he needs to do, does all the right stuff. Hits some mid-range shots and stuff like that. And then they've got their point guard who like leads at least Purdue, but it might even have been like the entire NCAA in like career assists. He just broke some record recently. Don't quote me on that, but it's some type of record that, again, all 3 of these guys have now been to, like, this is their 4th March Madness tournament. And it, against Miami, they showed their career path about, that they went to the national championship 2 years ago when they lost to Hofstra in like the first or second round in a big upset. So I kind of like that they have that March Madness experience now. And whoever wins this Arizona-Arkansas game, we've talked a lot about how good Arizona has looked all year. And also how good Arkansas is, but I think Purdue can give either of these teams a really good game. So I'm looking forward to seeing the Boilermakers in the Elite 8 here.
Yeah, that'll definitely be interesting to see. I think they're a team to watch. Last year when I was filling out my bracket, I usually I just go on vibes, but last year I was like, I'm gonna have a plan. I'm just gonna pick whatever team is the oldest. And I think we're starting to see that in college sports. You saw with Indiana, they were the oldest team in the college football playoffs. Now Purdue, I'm not 100% sure, but sounds like they've got an older roster. I mean, this age experience, it all matters in college. And I wouldn't be surprised if Boilermakers continue shocking some people.
Yeah, and I mean, especially when, again, there's so many
wouldn't say
people.
Shocking. They're 2 seeds.
Yeah, they are a 2 seed. I don't know if it's a huge shock, but especially like in basketball when there's so much of that like feeding off of your teammates, and especially with the style of basketball that they play, the style of offense that they have, like you can't, no matter how good a true freshman is on another team, whether it's Arizona or Kansas got knocked out, but I know they had Darren Peterson, who's like the surefire number 1 pick next year in the NBA draft. But no matter how good of a true freshman you have, like sometimes there's just something, you can't really substitute that. Like these guys have been playing together for 4 years on big stages in the best conference probably in college basketball. Like that's a really dangerous combination to see this deep into the tournament.
Yeah, and they get it done just at the finish. A nice buzzer beater, like 0.7 seconds left. I just watched the end of this game. I've got a theory. I think there's been way more like tip-in buzzer beaters as of recent.
Yeah, people are getting the follows.
Yeah, I feel like that's just been happening way more recent. I've been seeing a lot in college, seen it, forget where in the NBA, but the tip and walk off basically is might be the new thing.
Yeah, I think
Might
that,
be practicing a lot.
I'll give the Duquesne Dukes credit for that. I saw maybe not the first one, but one of the most memorable ones that I saw this year was David Dixon from Duquesne. He had a tip in. I was working this game. I was on the replay monitor, doing that job.
Replay operator.
Yeah, replay operator. Thank you for the words. In the truck at the Duquesne game, and they were playing. Now I forget who they were playing. Richmond, I think it was, and they were down 30 in this game. Dom, they were down 30. This is typical March basketball. This is a regular season game, but it was their last regular season game. David Dixon, a senior, he's the winningest player in Duquesne history. Because he's been there for 4 years. Again, another guy who didn't transfer out, so you got to give him a lot of props for that. They're down 30 in the first half to Richmond. They battled all the way back. They, are trading leads near the end. They're tied with about 15 seconds left. They get a shot up from three. It's no good. Dixon comes flying in out of nowhere with the left hand, tips it in. It was a top 10 play on SportsCenter. Really cool to see and a really cool comeback to see. But, yeah, since then, I don't know if it's just that there's a term for it. I want to say Mandela effect, but I know that's not what the Mandela effect is. But there's some type of term for it when you hear a vocabulary word or see something happen, and then you start seeing it more and more.
Sure.
And you're like, is that just because I noticed it this one time, or is that does that always happen? Is it just a coincidence that it's happening more? I have to look that up, what it's called, but there is a term for it.
It's like when you get a car, you never recognize the car, like how many other people had that same car until you're driving it yourself.
Yes, exactly. Or you hear someone say a certain word, and you're like, I don't even know what that means. Then they describe it, and then over the next week, you hear it 10 times.
Yeah. Okay, I thought that was just me before. I thought that was something insane going on.
I don't even know how to how do I Google
I was starting to think of a simulation theory at some point, because I'd read a word, I'd be like, huh, that's interesting, and then I'd hear it 10 times the next week or so.
How do I even search that? Term for
that's something you might need to ask AI.
Term when you hear something for the first time and then you start hearing it a lot. Is that what I don't? Is that what I?
That's probably a good AI prompt.
The first, I don't even know. Whatever, I'll do that in the break. No, not the first time in forever. All right, but yeah, we got some good games tomorrow, which is actually tonight if you're listening to this live on WSRR Radio. March 27th, we have got some absolute bangers of games lined up here in the Sweet 16. Michigan State playing UConn at 9:45. We have where'd that go? There, that other game. Michigan and Alabama playing at 7:35. Tennessee and Iowa State playing at 10:10 p.m., the late game. But the game that I'm going to have my eyes on, it's the 7:10 p.m. tip-off, so it's going to be the first game tipped off tonight, excuse me, again, if you're listening live on WSRR Radio on Friday morning. Duke versus our St. John's Johnnies. Duke, the number 1 seed. Rick Pitino's St. John's, the number 5 seed. Duke, 6.5-point favorites in this one. The Johnnies have got it rolling right now. They beat California Baptist in the first round. No, excuse me, that's the wrong game. They beat Northern Iowa in the first round, 79-53. They beat Kansas by 2 in the round of 32. And yes, an absolutely great game, like you said. And like I mentioned earlier, they took down Darren Peterson, the freshman phenom, who everyone has been saying is going to be kind of a surefire number 1 overall pick in the NBA draft. And now they meet Duke, who has rolled Siena, even though they were in trouble there a little bit in the first half. And then they absolutely dismantled TCU. So this one will be an interesting one. I think, whoever wins this one can pick up some serious momentum rolling into the Elite Eight. What are you seeing in this one? Are you hyped for the Johnnies? I know that's kind of who you've got your backing, at least. I don't know if you got your money on them, but that's who you want to see win.
I like the Iowa teams a lot. I like Iowa, like Iowa State, but yeah, I like how you said our St. John Johnnies, because we are pulling for them as a show.
And I almost feel like the nation is pulling for, like, honestly, no one wants to see Duke win again. Like, no one's going to be happy if Duke wins. Like, the Johnnies, a team from, Long Island, I think, right? Like, they got Pitino at coach. Like, I feel like they're kind of America's team right now a little bit, right?
Yeah, I think they're in, like, Queens, New York. I'm pretty sure that's where St. John's is. But the big thing is, like, they represent us, like our listeners, the Northeast, like UConn, bro. Those are like for the Yankees up in New England.
Yeah,
St. John's
that's for
represents
the assholes a little bit too much.
exactly. And the one thing that we forgot to mention when talking about St. John's is the role that Rick Pitino is on with his suit game. I mean, he comes out dripping every single game. He's been on fire ever since the Big East tournament. The suits are thousands of dollars. They look amazing. He looks so much better than these other bums. Like last week against Kansas, their head coach was wearing a quarter zip that you could find in the team store. I mean, Rick Pitino's wearing a $2,500 suit. There are levels to this, okay? He's the Don. He's him. He's gonna get it done against Duke. But it will be a really good game. I do think it's a legacy game for both of these coaches. John Shire would be the first time getting to the Elite Eight. And then Rick Pitino, if he could get to the Elite Eight with St. John's, I think he's certainly in the conversation for greatest basketball coach of all time.
Pitino is almost like playing the character, like with the suits. Like I feel like that is like kind of his, like who he is. Like he likes the flashy suits and stuff. But like I feel like
it's old school.
You know, with the scandals that went down with Pitino when he was at Louisville, of like, you know, the recruiting stuff. And then he comes to St. John's. He goes to the New York team. He's the Italian godfather, like you said. And like he's like wearing the suits and being like, yeah, I'm flashy and I'm getting it done. And like whatever, like he is, like, I don't know. It's just he's playing the character so well in a way where it's just like, yeah, like I'm going to dress flashy. Like if you don't like it, then stop it. Like we're going to win basketball games. He is just like the classic old school coach. You like it.
Exactly. He's old school and he treats the game with respect like the coach is used to.
That's right.
Now these guys are wearing like sweatpant joggers. Rick Pitino has class. He knows that this is a business and he's a leader of men. And I respect a lot of what he's done at St. John's. I am aware of the scandals. Those are not great. But as a basketball coach on the court, between the whistles, he is. I think there's a serious argument to be made for greatest college basketball coach of all time, and maybe an argument for greatest basketball coach of all time. Period.
For the people who don't know much about St. John's, and honestly, I don't know a ton about St. John's basketball at all, but like I saw, and this is just totally based off of a TikTok, but I saw a TikTok edit of someone being like it was a video of him when he was a kid 9 years ago in like 2017, and this kid was crashing out in his living room, and he was like, St. John's is 0-11. Like, why do I watch this team every you know, however many times a week? Like, I have nothing to be proud of in the team that I root for. And like now, 9 years later, they're a powerhouse that people are worried about seeing in the tournament. And, you know, a big part of it is because of Pitino being there.
Yeah, he's the guy. He made him a resurgence. I think they're the most intriguing team in the tournament right now by far. And a big reason because of him.
They're definitely up there. Arkansas is up there because of Calipari. You can't another like coach that has that pedigree for sure, and that you can't count out. Iowa's fun to watch because they're just that Midwest brand of basketball. Another team that we're going to be rooting for. I think that my two teams that even though in our WSRR radio bracket I have Michigan State winning, the two teams who I'd really like to see win it all would be Iowa and St. John's right now. I would like to see Michigan State or Iowa State. I think that those are my other two teams, but like the top two teams that I'm really pulling for, St. John's and the Hawkeyes, are I think that those are some BEL favorites for sure.
Yeah, I like that. I'd add, I mean, a lot of these teams are likable. Personally, I'm not in on Michigan State. I like Houston. I think they've been close a lot. They just haven't been able to get through. I think it would be cool to see them finish out on top.
There's some intriguing names in this tournament for sure. Arizona, do you think that Do you think that LeBron is going to make a huge deal about it if Arizona wins and Bryce is the only national champion in the James gang? That's definitely going to be
crazy.
Like the most annoying for people who hate LeBron, which is not me. That's going to be the most annoying post for a lot of people on their Instagram feed to see LeBron be like, James gang, national champion, and Bryce hasn't played a minute all year.
Yeah. I mean, it's cool to see him like on the sidelines.
Oh yeah, he's a great hype man. He's a great
for sure.
hype man.
Yeah,
I've seen tons of TikToks of being like, Bryce is absolutely keeping the vibes up on this team. They were like,
for sure.
He's throwing up the three on the sidelines when they're shooting from deep. Like he's absolutely keeping the spirits up. It's great to see.
Yeah, he's all the way in. He's bought in on the Arizona basketball, so I'd be happy for him. I can't hate on LeBron. I just can't.
I refuse to do it. We can talk some LeBron in the second segment because some of the stuff he's doing right now in the NBA is very noteworthy and very talkable about, I guess. Last thing right before we throw to break, the Baader-Meinhof phenomenon, or more technically, the frequency illusion is what we're talking about. So Baader-Meinhof phenomenon, take that into your weekend, drop that at a party, sound really smart. And you can thank BEL and WSRR Radio. Stick with us through the break.
Synergy Music Studio offers a diverse array of musical services specifically crafted to meet their clients' needs. Discover how Synergy can bring your vision to life today. Not only do they support the local music scene in Chicago, but nationwide. They offer affordable recording, mixing, and mastering built with creativity to best capture your art. Find out how Synergy can elevate your sound at synergymusicstudio.com today.
The following State of the Union is brought to you by WSRR Radio in partnership with GenericClothes.com.
My fellow Americans, for weeks now, people have been asking me for the files. They want the truth. They want the names. They've said, show us the names. Well, today I'm going to do just that. These are the files. Page 1, we have it on good authority that was sending to. We know this because of his involvement with terrible guy, honestly. Of course, this means, unfortunately, and were also involved due to communications between and investigators believe may have known about as early as 2001, terrible year, which raises serious questions about and whether or not, and regrettably,
there's a time for details. Your clothing brand isn't it. Nobody cares about those details. Get to the point with GenericClothes.com.
Playing the ball where it lies. Lucas and Dom are back on WSRR Radio.
Welcome back to Behind Enemy Lines right here on WSRR Radio, brought to you by our proud partners at Synergy Music Studio. Based out of Chicago, Synergy Music Studio is built for artists who care about the sound of their music. From recording, mixing, and mastering to full production and live studio sessions, Synergy works hands-on to help artists turn ideas into finished, professional releases. They support the Chicago scene, and they welcome new artists anytime. If you're serious about your sound, start at synergymusicstudio.com today. They support the Chicago scene, but you don't have to be in Chicago to send stuff into Synergy, so check them out at synergymusicstudio.com. You could maybe even be in New York, maybe be member of the Pirates who's in New York playing the Mets on opening day like they were today, and send something over, get some hot tracks dropped and mixed and mastered by synergymusicstudio.com. Dom, opening day of the MLB was today, correct? Or was
That's
it
right.
yesterday?
Oh, technically it was yesterday.
Well, yes, now it will be yesterday, but opening day in the MLB, so we can cover our MLB talk for the year right now.
That's right.
How'd things go for the Pirates?
Not the best. In some ways good, in some ways not so good. They lost. That's the first. 11-7. Most of the game it was 11-5. They lost they scored those two extra runs in the last inning. But the Pirates, they score in the first inning. They're up 2 or 3-0. They get a home run. The bats are looking good. It's like, this is what we've been waiting for all off season. We knew it would pay off. We're finally scoring. And then the bottom of the first inning, Paul Skeens, the reigning Cy Young, the former Rookie of the Year, some are saying a generational talent. He lets up he walks the first batter. He hits the second batter. Then and then you get a nice little single, bases loaded. Then you get a deep shot to center field. O'Neal Cruz is looking at it. He's looking at it and it goes right past him, right over his head. 3-run score. You're like, all right, we're only down 1 run. This is all good. We're fine. You know, we saw the bats in the first. We're gonna keep it going. And then another ball goes out to center field. Easy pop up, can of corn, as they'd say in baseball. And O'Neal Cruz once again, he's underneath it, ready to make the play. And all of a sudden, the sun gets in his eye, and the ball hits the ground. Another run scores. All right, now we're down 5-2 in the first. And unfortunately, it was a little too much to overcome. Paul Skeens ends up getting pulled in the first inning. First time in his career he's ever been pulled in the first inning. Probably first time in his life. Like, that guy is just... It was a rough start for the guy. It wasn't fully on him, but it's a long season. Let's save this guy's arm. He's going to be back. I'm not worried about Paul Skeens. I'm a little worried about O'Neal Cruz, but overall, I think the Pirates are a much better team than they were last year. But there are a little bit of sloppiness that they need to tighten up on, I'd say. Clean up.
What's going on with this O'Neal Cruz guy? Because when he came into the league, when he was with the Pirates, it was like, this guy's a freak of nature. Like, he's thrown over to first base faster than anyone's ever thrown it. He's hitting 600-yard bombs. Like, he's as fast as you can be. He's strong as you can be. He's got a great arm. And now I feel like over the last 2 years or however long it's been since then, at least Pirates fans seem like he's just an absolute bum.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's a bum because, like, what you said is right. He's, like, incredibly fast. He can throw the ball harder than anybody in baseball, and he can hit the ball as far as anybody in baseball. So those 3 things, you'd think, like, you'd be able to get a fantastic baseball player out of that, but there are just a lot of pieces missing. I mean, last year, he hit 200. He hit 200. That can't happen as a guy who's supposed to be, this baseball god. Like, that's what they treated him as at first. He's really good on the bases. He gets a lot of steals, but he just can't get on base enough. And as far as, like, the defense goes, like you said, when he started his career, he was at shortstop. He was throwing the ball 105 miles per hour to the first baseman, and making it look easy. And then for some reason, you move a guy when he's 25 years old. You move him to center field, and I don't know much about baseball. I'm not a coach. I'm not a scout, but when I was
claim to know much about baseball on this show
for sure. But when I was in Little League, like, there were guys who were infielders and there were guys who were outfielders, and it was very clear, like, who's good at getting ground balls, who's good at getting fly balls. There's a reason why guys stick with being infielders and they stick with being outfielders for their whole lives, because I think it's something about it is, like, innate. And to move that guy to center field, I think there's something they got to figure out if this continues. It's one game out of 162, so I'm not going to overreact right now. I still think the Pirates are going to be good. I still think they're going to be competing to make the playoffs towards the end of the season. Hopefully make it. I think Paul Skeens will have a great season. So that's the Pirates preview / game 1 recap.
So guys were infielders and guys were outfielders when you were in Little League. Which one were you?
Infielder.
Yeah?
For sure.
Where were we putting you on the hot corner or what?
No, I was a middle infielder, second or short.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay. You had the Golden Glove?
Low key. I was nice with the ground balls.
I heard they still talk about you in the York Little League circles.
That's what I heard too.
For having a hot mitt.
They tore down the field, unfortunately, that we used to play on. So just the ghosts of York Little League past are there, but
yeah. Did you ever play outfield?
Yeah, and it was never good. I wasn't a fly ball guy. I was a ground ball guy, and that's exactly what the point I'm trying to make here. O'Neal Cruz ain't a fly ball guy. He might be a ground ball guy.
I played baseball until like 6th grade, I think, and I feel like in my town, if you were any good at baseball, you did not play in the rec league anymore. Like, you know, I just played in the Avon Lake City League, like whatever it was, you know, the little league town team. I feel like if you were any good, you played on a travel team. So by the end of my baseball tenure, I feel like I was like, these kids aren't even good enough to hit it into the outfield. And I would be, you know, I feel like it was also such a bad league that like we would like rotate positions, kind of, you know, like every inning or every couple innings, you know, you'd move around. I remember like being in left or right field, like being so bored.
Oh yeah.
Because I was like, everyone in this league, including me, I was not a good baseball player. I was like, everyone in this league is so bad. I'm out here wasting time. Like they're not going to hit it to me.
Yeah. Well, right field is always where they put like the worst kid, like the kid who couldn't field at all, because, you know, most of the players you're going against are righties. Nobody's going opposite field into right field. So
yeah,
I definitely had a fair share of right field days back in my day, and it was always the worst. You never, when you saw you were on the lineup in right field and batting like 8th, you're like, oh my God, I'm like, what am I even here for?
Yeah, I was out there singing songs to myself. I was like, come on, CJ,
picking
throw a strike
dandelions
in there. Yeah, pretty much. Like I was like just rooting. I was basically just watching baseball.
Yeah,
I had the worst seat in the house too. Like all the, you know what I mean. No one's sitting behind me. Like everyone's sitting behind the first and third base lines.
It was pretty
like,
chill.
Not only was I watching baseball, just watching it, not even playing it, but I also had the worst seat in the house.
That was
the way back.
That was the nice part about playing outfield. You were like out there by yourself, like no one even close. It's pretty chill.
It was kind of nice and calming. It was nice. I feel like there was very little going on. I feel like
until line drive started coming your way.
I think in my baseball career, I only ever witnessed, like, in a game that I was playing in, I only witnessed like 2 or 3 home runs ever.
Yeah.
So I was always just like, I have nothing to do back here. There was always like the image in your mind of like, what if I robbed a home run? That would be pretty sick.
Would be
if
awesome.
Someone hit a home run out this way and I just snagged it off the top of the fence.
Yep.
Never gonna happen.
No.
Never gonna happen.
Not in Little League. I mean, it barely happens in Major League Baseball where they play like thousands of games a year.
Yeah, not in my league at least. Like I said, I very seldom ever saw a ball go over the wall. I think my second to last year, we had this kid who had like 2 or 3 homers, and I was like, this guy is a god. He's gonna play in the MLB.
Yeah.
I was in 5th grade, and this kid was in 6th grade, and I was like, he's got 2 homers on the year. He's a stud. This guy's going places.
Back when I was in Little League, our teams were named after like MLB teams. So I think there were only
I was on the Pirates. So
nice.
I'm sure you'll be glad to hear that.
That is great to hear. Repping the black and gold. That's always good to hear.
That's right.
But I think we only had like 4 teams in our division. Can't remember what it was like the Twins, I think the Pirates. I was on the Rays, and then the God team was the Cubs. And the Cubs had like the greatest players you'd ever see in your life. Like they had this one kid who hit a home run, it seemed like every single game. And then they had a pitcher, and it seemed like he threw the ball 90 miles per hour. Like they had 2 guys that were just stand out, easily the best players in the league. And the Rays, the team that I was on, the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, we were the worst team by far. We were like pretty much the bad news Bears. Like we were just like, you know, didn't take anything serious, just mess around. Like we lost like every single game pretty much. But then one time we come around, we play the Cubs, their ace is pitching, and somehow we found a way to win the game, and it really felt like the bad news Bears. It really felt like we beat like like the villains. It was amazing.
That's a darn good feeling. I feel like I had the best of both worlds in that. My 5th grade year, I was on the Pirates, and we had this coach who was like in the Avon Lake Youth League or whatever it was called. He was like a legend, so to speak. And I feel like I remember my parents telling me like, oh yeah, he's been coaching like, Little League baseball in this town for like 30 years or something. Like his kids weren't even on the team. Like he just like did that. That was just what he always coached. And our team was really good. And I was one of the like probably bottom half. Again, this was like 5th and 6th grades, so I was the 5th grader. So your team was like half and half, 5th and 6th graders. So I was like kind of in the bottom half because I was younger and like whatever. And we won a lot of games that year, and I was just happy to be there, And again, baseball was never really my sport. And we had that kid who hit a couple homers, and we were awesome. I thought we were great. And we were the best team in the league, and then we lost in the first game of the playoffs. And I remember crying. I was like, this should not happen. This should not happen. We were the best team. And then that coach retired. This was when we were the Pirates, like I said. That coach retired after that year. That was his last year. He was like, yeah, I'm not going to do it anymore. And I remember then he went and worked in the concession stand. And so they were like, we're going to retire the Pirates team. No one else in the league is ever going to be the Pirates anymore because it's for Coach so-and-so.
Wow.
I forget what his name was.
That's respect.
So then it was the same team, but a different coach and whatever, and we were the Kansas City Royals the next year. And we went from being top tier to being the worst team in the league. Like I went from being one of the worst players on the team to like being the best player, and that wasn't because I got better. It's just that we were so bad. We were terrible the next year. I never in my life like considered myself to be fast, but I remember going into that year we were like, we're gonna time everyone run around the bases and see who's fastest. And I had the fastest time on the team. And I remember going home and telling my dad that, and he was like, "You did?" And I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "God, your team must be pretty slow." And I was like, "Yeah, they are." And we did not have the best year.
So what, did you lose a lot of guys from the Pirates to the Royals transition?
We lost a lot of guys. Like I said, the coach, the class above me was good, and then we lost them, and my class was not the best, I guess.
And the coach saw that coming. He got out and got his jersey number retired.
Time to get out. He picked the right time to get out for sure. I think there might be a plaque to him now, like somewhere on the concession stand or something. I might have just made that up, but I do specifically remember that was his last year, and I was like, we blew it. We wanted to win the chip for him in his last year, and we couldn't do it.
For him,
we choked it. We choked it away. We choked away this legendary coach's dynasty season, and that'll always haunt me.
And how old were you?
I was in like 5th grade. Poor
That's
guy.
Great.
Poor bastard. He never got to win one. He thought that was going to be his year, but we
couldn't
ruined
get it done for him.
Couldn't get it done for the old man. Couldn't get it done for him. Thank you guys. You stick with us through this last break. We got another hot segment of Behind Enemy Lines right here on WSRR Radio.
If LimeWire taught us anything, your digital music is free and open to piracy, and even manipulation when it comes to digital distribution. So why settle for a bunch of ones and zeros floating around on the internet? Make your release something special with Hellbender Vinyl. Hellbender is one of America's most trusted custom vinyl record pressing plants and works with local artists to get their next release pressed exactly to their liking. So check out Pittsburgh's first and only custom vinyl pressing plant today by visiting hellbendervinyl.com to get started. And don't forget, all customers at Hellbender Vinyl get 5 free test presses at no additional charge. Hellbent on quality, hellbent on service, hellbendervinyl.com.
WSRR Radio is proud to present the Cleveland leg of Echo Pilot's 2026 Spring Tour, April 30th at the Winchester in Lakewood, located at 12112 Madison Avenue.
It's not my intention to settle down before you
Coming all the way from Tennessee to Cleveland, I get the notion you're not going to want to miss Echo Pilot Live, so come join the WSRR crew along with Cellophane Jane and Lillier Thursday, April 30th, 2026. Echo Pilot at the Winchester, Thursday, April 30th. Doors at 7. More information and tickets available at echopilotmusic.com.
Calling it like they see it. Lucas and Dom are back on WSRR Radio.
We are back here on Behind Enemy Lines, right here on WSRR Radio, brought to you by Hellbender Vinyl. Hellbender is Pittsburgh's first and only custom vinyl record pressing plant, one of America's most trusted record pressing plants, perfect for local and independent artists who want to take their album release to the next level. Don't settle for a bunch of ones and zeros floating around the internet. Have a physical album release with Hellbender Vinyl. Hellbent on quality, hellbent on service, hellbendervinyl.com. Dom, I joined a new gym at the beginning of February, and I've seen some interesting things in this gym. One of the most interesting things I've seen in a Pittsburgh gym, especially. Remind you, I'm in Pittsburgh's Little Italy neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen this guy a couple times in there. He's got like a short haircut. He's not bald, but he has a very short haircut. He has a San Antonio Spurs tattoo on the side of his head, like the back side of his head.
You must love them.
And you can obviously like see it through like the buzz cut. But this, and like I just want to go up to him and ask him, like, you're a huge Spurs fan, obviously. Like, how are you in Pittsburgh? Like, what's going on? Like,
why do you love them that much?
Is it the Alamo? Like, what is it about the Spurs? You just love Popovich? Is it Tim Duncan, the big fundamental? Like, are you a big Tony Parker fan? I love Manu Ginobili, so I have so much respect for the tattoo. But
or maybe he loves Wembanyama so much. He just got
That's
it.
what I was thinking. It doesn't seem fresh, though. It doesn't look fresh enough to be a Wemby tat.
You know, I'm the more you talk about it, though, I don't hate on it because a head tattoo might be the move because you can just grow your hair out to cover it.
Yeah.
Like, you get a tattoo anywhere else, you can't cover that.
But you got to shave the head to get it.
Yeah, well, like, if you wanted that bad, obviously you're going to shave your head. But then, like, what if you, and then you're like, I regret this a little bit. Then you just grow your hair out again. And it's like you never got it.
It's not a terrible idea, but I feel like if you're getting it on the head, you're wearing it loud and proud.
Yeah, for a while. And then what happens if you go bald, like, just without, you just go bald. Even if you hate it, then you're stuck with it.
Then you're rocking it loud, but maybe not proud.
And you ever see an old dude's head? Like, it doesn't look, like, that tattoo's gonna look whack.
Oh, for sure. For sure. And I'm excited to see it. It'll be a spectacular
I wish
sight.
you got the rainbow one, though.
The rainbow Spurs
yeah.
Yeah, like the old 80s one.
Yeah.
That would be beautiful.
With the black and white.
Are sports tattoos ever a good idea?
Probably not.
Like, unless you, even if you played on the team, like, the sports tattoo to me is just crazy. I don't know.
Like if you won a Super Bowl, like, I feel like you could tattoo a Lombardi trophy on you if you want to.
Yeah, of course. But, like, if you were on the team.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, if you're on the team and you get a Lombardi trophy tattooed on you, I think that would be
not if your Browns won the Super Bowl. Like, you can't just get a Lombardi trophy. That would be crazy.
I couldn't if the Browns won one?
No, you couldn't.
Why not?
I mean, that would be
Why
crazy.
Why couldn't I get one and a picture of Todd Monken tattooed on me if they won the Super Bowl this year?
With
or
his
Myles
jeans.
Garrett or something.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. I just don't think you can tattoo anybody, really.
If the Browns win the Super Bowl
Unless it's
this
like
year,
Jesus or
if the Browns
like some other religious figure. I'm saying you shouldn't be tattooing like a real life person, real man. Like,
if the Browns win the Super Bowl this year, I will get a tattoo of Todd Monken wearing those jeans and that sport coat that he wore when he had his like first day in Cleveland.
That'd be fantastic.
That was such a diabolical fit that I will immortalize that on my body if the Browns win the Super Bowl this year.
Who do you think is the most tattooed person outside of, like, religious figures? Or like, I don't know. I'm thinking like Michael Jackson. There's probably a ton of people who have Michael Jackson tattoos.
There's a lot of Michael Jackson tattoos. You ever seen the Triple Mike tattoo?
Who?
The Triple Mike.
No.
You ever seen this?
Mike.
If you look up Triple Mike tattoo, it'll be like it's like Michael Jackson's face.
Yeah.
But he has a Mike Tyson tattoo and he's wearing a Michael Jordan Bulls jersey.
Oh, I'm seeing it now. I'm seeing it.
The Triple Mike.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
There's multiple instances of the Triple Mike tattoo I've seen.
Yeah, that's bonkers. I can't lie.
That's a spectacular look though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's interesting. That's for sure. I'll think of another Eminem. I feel like there's a ton of dudes who are like, bro, check out my Eminem.
Eminem tatted on them?
I feel like people who love Eminem are like crazy about it. Like they'd get a tattoo.
That is true. Marshall Mathers.
I'm trying to think of like other dudes or gals. There's probably more like
Slim
tattoos
Shady.
of like women, honestly. Like Marilyn Monroe or something, or like Betty Boop. Like people got tattoos, or like Tweety Bird.
Tweety Bird? When you thought of women tattooed on someone's body, you went to Tweety Bird third?
I'm just thinking of like tattoos I've seen on people. The Tasmanian Devil. But these aren't real people.
There's some Looney Tunes out there for sure.
No
There's
doubt.
some crazy Looney Tunes tats. There's
The Taz
you know what
tat,
I
yeah.
love is I feel like the number one sport that gets tattooed on people is baseball, like paraphernalia. Like maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like I've seen a Louisville Cardinals tattoo. Our high school baseball
St.
coach,
Louis Cardinals?
So, yeah, what am I talking about? Louisville. St. Louis Cardinals, excuse me. I've seen the St. Louis Cardinals tattoo. Louisville. No, I wasn't talking about the college. That's what
you
threw me
would
off.
definitely see some
Louisville.
college logos on people though.
Yeah, that too. But I feel like professional, I think you see more baseball paraphernalia. Our
Definitely
baseball
some Yankees
coach-
tattoos.
Oh, there's tons of Yankees.
Probably the
tats,
most
for sure.
tattooed logo.
Yeah, for sure. Because even if you're from New York and you're not a Yankees fan,
You have to.
There's probably a good amount of people who have the Yankees logo tatted on them, even if they aren't a huge Yanks fan.
Yeah, it's kind of like a rite of passage, honestly.
That's what you. You have to get the tattoo. You can't even just wear the hat.
Yeah. The hat is like that's like more of a tourist thing. If you're a real New Yorker, you got it tatted on you.
We have our high school baseball coach. He also coached football and some other stuff, but he has a tattoo on his calf of it's like a small one. It's just a baseball with a ball cap on, and that's it.
That's
it's
amazing.
Like the size of a quarter. It's just a baseball with a baseball hat on.
I remember this just brought back a really ancient memory of mine. When I was really young, I was in a gymnastics class. Don't ask me why I was forced into that, but I remember the instructor.
Good for your athleticism.
He had a tattoo of Donald Duck on the bars, the rings on the rings. I mean,
the rings
Yeah.
of Donald Duck.
Yes, and when I was
in the Olympic rings.
yeah, and when I was a kid, I thought it was the sickest tattoo ever. And I remember my parents clowning me for thinking that. That's
What did your parents say?
they're probably I think I was probably I want to get that tattoo when I'm older, and they're like absolutely not.
You were gonna be that big into gymnastics?
Guess
you were
so.
just yeah. You went to one gymnastics lessons and saw that tattoo.
Or maybe I was
you were just bought in.
Maybe it was I'll get Donald Duck doing something else. I don't know.
Doing what? Podcasting.
Yeah, because I was loving
Donald Duck just sitting around with on a podcast.
You probably get AI to make that tattoo art for you.
Oh, 100%.
That would be the new.
You could do that.
That'll be the new art for the show.
I think that we'll probably see a lot of sports tattoos. If you want to see them anywhere, you'll probably see a lot of football logo tattoos.
Steelers logos.
Yeah, Steelers logos for sure.
Yeah,
because
I don't know how we
there's
forgot
talent
about
loves
that.
in Steelers.
There's definitely some head Steelers tattoos out there.
Probably. I wouldn't doubt it with the 3 stars. 3 stars of differing colors, which Go ahead, Dom. Tell the people one more time. What do those represent?
Coal, steel scrap, and iron.
There we go. Well, I thought it was. Is it iron or isn't it just like coal or fire or something? I don't remember.
I can't. You put me on the spot here. I can't remember the third right now. I think that's it though.
Yeah, something like that.
I'm trying to ask ChatGPT for a Donald Duck podcasting tattoo design right now. You caught me off guard.
You should definitely ask for that. That is one good thing. I tell you what, I don't support using AI, of course, especially generative AI, but using it for creating funny tattoos is pretty good. I've used the Instagram AI to do that a couple of different times.
I haven't done any of that yet.
I had this one idea one time. I got inspired one night, and I was like, what if you made a tattoo of like a hyper realistic like body of a soldier in like Vietnam, and then his head is just a cheeseburger. I don't know why that was my thought, but I had AI. I also drew this out one time myself when I was bored at work. But I had AI generate that, and I was like, "Yo, this is actually a fire tattoo."
ChatGPT said, "We're sorry, but the image goes against their guardrails."
Oh, probably because Donald Duck is copyright or something.
All right, I'll ask him for a cartoon duck.
Yeah, just ask for a basic, run-of-the-mill generic cartoon duck.
Of course.
I think that we'll probably see a lot of sports tattoos though at the draft, which is coming up quickly here in Pittsburgh. I'm really excited for it. I think that what else I'm excited for now, if we go in person, we won't get to see this, but I think I'm also excited to hear about the backstories of all of the soon-to-be NFL players when they talk about like how their mother was a crack addict or something like that, and how they've never met their father, and that somehow works into their draft profile. Why is that like? How low can ESPN get like that? They latch onto that every single year, and like they haven't changed.
Yeah, they really do. They get dark sometimes on the draft. I feel like they've toned it back a little bit in recent years because I think they've heard some of the criticism. Like, we just don't want to be like depressed the whole time watching this. They still get it in though, for sure. Like when they can. Yeah, I don't know. They're probably not going to stop doing that.
No, never. It's always like someone's family member has cancer, or they have an absentee father, or both of them. Their absentee father has cancer and also can't see out of his left eye, or something like that.
Yeah.
They really do ham it up like too much.
Oh, it's a full show for the draft. They don't mess around. It's like NFL is like the best reality TV because they tell everything. Like if you're in the NFL, there's no hiding anything.
Yeah, that's right. Speaking of reality TV, we got a minute and a half left, and AI. Have you seen the AI fruits? The reality AI fruit on TikTok.
I haven't watched.
What I'm talking about at all?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I haven't watched like any of the episodes, but I've heard about it.
I haven't watched any of it either, but
apparently it's got millions of views though.
It sounds it sounds like it's getting a lot of reach, but I've also heard, do you know what dead internet theory is?
Yeah.
I've heard that that's where a lot of people think that these views are coming from. Like it's just bot views or whatever is happening. Like it's bots seeing that.
I mean, I've said it before. I'll say it again. I've always thought that the TikTok views are fraudulent, and the likes as well. Because you'll see a TikTok that has millions of likes and you've never seen in your life. If a tweet had millions of likes, everyone would have seen it. Like these TikTok numbers are out of control. It's not real.
Well, I get you can boost a post. When I post my hot dog videos, I'd post some hot dog reviews.
Check it
if
out.
anyone is interested.
LVD
dogs on TikTok. Dom's on my latest one.
Yep.
It'll come up and it'll be like, boost this post, spend $20 to get 70,000 likes or something like that.
Are you serious?
And I never do it, but I am tempted. I'm always like, yeah, well,
that's
maybe.
crazy.
But it's not likes. Sorry, it usually asks me for views. But one time I did go in and look at it, and it was like you can boost 3 things: views, follows, or likes. And I was like, well, I don't want to do likes or follows because those are definitely
gotta be
fake. But I was
bots,
like,
yeah.
maybe if I just boost the views, it'll get onto other people's For You page. But I don't know if it'll just be like fraudulent views or what. So I'm kind of scared to do that.
Yeah. TikTok, I think it's all fraudulent. I think Twitter is honestly now too. Like, people just don't post anymore. Like, it's all just nonsense.
Twitter's not even a thing anymore. It's X. It's the everything app.
I will never call it that.
Yeah, no, it's always been Twitter here.
Always will be.
And it's always been Donald Duck on the Olympic rings.
The
Thank you guys for
podcast.
joining us on Behind Enemy Lines right here on WSRR Radio. Have a spectacular weekend and enjoy March Madness.
The preceding program was a sponsored production. The views, claims, and ideas expressed may not represent those of WSRR Radio.